Hello everyone, this is Professor Robert Solis. Welcome to this next video lesson. I want to talk about the mathematical tool here called POW. And as you can see here, we have a C++ program here that's going to determine the area of a circle. And so the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. So how do I make it so that instead of multiplying radius times radius, which is what r stands for, I want to use the r squared POW option or POW function. So you'll see that what I've done first is I've created a constant called pi, and I've initialized that value to 3.141592654. So I'm trying to get as much of an accurate value as possible. Of course, you could continue with the digits even further, but that's good enough. I've declared two variables as doubles, so that means that they're going to hold real numbers. The user is being asked to enter a radius value. Okay, so I'm going to input that value from the keyboard, and so this is where the calculation takes place. So again, that's going to be pi r squared. Here's pi. That comes from this constant. And instead of typing r times r, times r times r, I'm going to use the POW function. And the way that the POW function works is that this first number inside of the parentheses acts as the base, and the second number acts as the exponent. So in this case, this is radius to the second power. And as you'll notice, if I hover on top of here, actually, let me see if I can get it. There it is. You'll see that this thing returns a double. So you give it a double, x, you give it a double, y, and what does this thing return? It returns a double. So that's what we want. We're going to want to multiply that times pi. It's going to give us the area of the circle. And then finally down here at the bottom, we're going to take, we're going to send an output to the screen, the area of the circle is, and then we're going to send out what that value is. So let's go ahead and run the program. And let me type in 1, say for example. Well, that would be r squared is 1. 1 times pi is pi itself, so that's why it returns that value. Let me try it again. We'll try the number 2. We'll type in the number 2. The area of the circle is, and in this case, the area is going to be radius squared, so that's going to be 2 to the second power, that's 4. 4 times pi, and that's what the answer is over there. Okay, so in this quick video lesson, you learned about the POW function. There's also another function to work with. I know that this is not correct. I'm just going to type this just so that you can see this. It's called sqrt, and that's called the square root function. And the way that this thing works out is, you can see here, you give it a double, and it's going to return the square root of that number. So for example, let's say that we wanted to find out the square root of 9.0. I could just type in the number 9. That would be fine too. Okay, so no matter what I put in here, this is going to be overridden by this new statement, which is going to return the square root of 9. Okay, so let's see what happens. The square root of 9 is 3, so it should return the answer 3. And so no matter what I put in here, the answer should be 3. Okay, let me try it again. And let me put in some huge number over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the area of the circle is 3. Of course, that's not the correct answer. It's just that I'm assigning the area of the circle the square root of 9. And so what I want to show you is, again, is this other function that you can work with to find out what the square root is. Let's say that you wanted to find the cube root of a number, for example. Okay, well, you could use the POW, because the cube root is nothing more than the base to the 1/3 power. The fourth root would be 1 to the 1/4 power, so forth and so on. So if you wanted to find the cube root of a number, well, that would just simply be something like this. We would just simply take POW, whatever the number is. Okay, so let's see here. What is the cube root of 8? That would be 2, right? Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So what is the cube root of 8? Well, that would be 8 to the 1/3 power. So I'm going to take this, 8.0, comma, and I'll just put 1.0 divided by 3.0, because the 8 to the 1/3 power is the same thing as saying cube root. So let me put the semicolon at the end. We'll run the program. So the answer should come back 2, regardless of what I enter on the screen. So let's put a 3 right here. And sure enough, the answer is 2. Why? Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, or the cube root of 8 is in fact 2. So these are some cool functions to use, and you don't necessarily have to use this in the traditional way. I mean, as I just shared with you, I could find the cube root or the fourth root or the fifth root, whatever, because that's just nothing more than a fractional exponent, and the power can work with that, obviously, or the power function, I should say, can work with that. All right, so this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. See you next time.